Hi, this is Kimberly Knox, KK, your astrologer, and welcome to my YouTube channel. This is where we talk about the larger planetary cycles that are unfolding. So I'm about to start a little vacation. Some of you are on spring break with your children. This is spring break time. This is the most magnificent day and week that we're going to be having unfold here. So I wanted to do a little special edition. We are going to be talking about one of my favorite planets, Venus, and thanks to the work of astrologer, a brilliant astrologer and scholar Adam Gainsbourg in the light of Venus, he really piqued my interest back in sort of this over 4 years ago, the beginning, I believe, of 2012. And so I'm going to be sharing some of the information that came from his work, and it is just incredible the messages that we get from the orbit and the dance that Venus makes between Earth and the Sun. So this week, let's just recap real quick, because if you're feeling like things are kind of moving forward, that's because the Sun just went into Aries last night, just after midnight. Okay, big things are happening. Maybe more global kind of things are happening, but on a personal level, this is a time to now. Aries is about me, what I want to do, what I want to bring forward. So this is a real time to get moving on those things that make you most passionate. And of course, it is the time and start of the astrological new year. So Aries is the first sign of the zodiac in tropical zodiac, and we also have the lunar eclipse this week in Libra. And if you listen to my other videos and the video for the month and personal videos, you see what that's unfolding in your chart. But this is a culmination, things coming to a head, endings, and just complete blooming of things that you started last fall. And where Libra falls in your chart, it'll be about relationships too, cooperation that you need from other people. That's what Libra is, doing things with others, gaining the cooperation with others, diplomacy. So you'll see what's going on in relationships. Venus is really hot and heavy this week, and especially toward the end of the week. And then we have Saturn, Jupiter coming to its last quarter square. We have, and so this is expansion and constriction. This is business cycles. This is adjustments of how we're going forward in and what we want to accomplish, where we planted that seed in Taurus back in 2000. So that's pretty huge. And we have Saturn also going retrograde. So it is now giving us a little break, a little semester break here, because when the teacher allows us to go on break, that we get to digest everything that we've learned. And who doesn't like learning something about Sagittarius? So this has been a little easier, this Saturn movement and the sign of Sagittarius, because it's opened us up, opened our minds to thinking about new things, new philosophies, being open to new ways of thinking, being open to more global concerns, and doing things in just a more enthusiastic type of way, and optimism. So these type of feelings that we get, it's made Saturn just that much more nice to have to deal with. And because when it was going through Scorpio, those were deep emotions that we were dealing with and cleaning up. Okay, so Mercury is going into, tomorrow night is going into Aries as well. So our thinking, our thoughts are crisp, they're bright, they're moving forward. We're going to be moving forward in ways that really express who we are. So this week is hot. Now let me tell you about why we're doing this video, because I love Venus. Venus today planted a new seed with Neptune. So when did that all happen? And it happens once a year, so this is the once a year cycle. It actually happened at 1:46 p.m. So we were leading up to this the last few days. So if you're Venus ruled, Taurus, Libra, Taurus rising, Libra rising, this had a special effect on you as well. And Venus is in Pisces, unconditional love. It is kindness, it's compassion. Neptune is in its own sign of Pisces currently. Neptune is the higher octave of Venus. So this planting the seed of the last few days is just this real beauty about planting a seed of kindness and having it grow to, grow in love. But this is when if you ever made a dream board, or you write down, or you visualize, or you journal, you meditate about how you see your life developing, that's the seed, the essence of the seed that we planted today. By the time I get done with this lecture, you will see the 10-degree mark of Pisces, why that's so important as well. It's really amazing how these planets really talk. So let's go back to Venus really quick, and I'm going to take you back to an amazing event that happened June 5th, 2012, which was the last event that we're going to see in our lifetime with Venus. Okay, so Venus. Do you remember starlight, star bright, first star I see tonight? Maybe you do. I used to say it all the time. It was a little wishing well thing. And so in the evening you would say it. You can make a wish about something about romance, or you just lay out your wish. So this is your wishing time. This is Venus and Neptune, but this is Venus. Venus is the sister planet. When it gets closest to the Earth, it is bright. And we've had it when it was retrograde during the summer. We could see it last summer. Anytime it's retrograde, it's closest to the Earth. Last summer, it was meeting up with Jupiter a few times, if you remember. Big things were going on. So when it was closest to the Earth, though, this is a rare event. We saw Venus pass between the Earth and the Sun, and you could see it going across the Sun during that time. So Venus is all about our relationships. It's about our self-esteem. It's about our love, how we show love, what our tastes are, and it's our intentions. It's the way we radiate. We actually attract based on how we are radiating this energy that we have. So if you feel like you're not getting what you want, there's something wrong with you. You're Venus. You have to go back in and you have to look at that. Because if we raise our vibration to the highest level and expression of our Venus, then we can then attract from that. And then there's even more to it. It's like, where was Venus during the time you were born? Now, was it when Venus was expressing fullness, which is kind of a immature type of expression of Venus, or was it at its wholeness where it's more mature? Was it when Venus was below the horizon, so it wasn't visible to us? That's a whole nother story. Were you born with Venus retrograde? All of these things talked about your values and how your relationships go. Particularly if you were born with Venus below the horizon, you need to work from within on your own values. It's similar to Venus being retrograde in a small way. It's just that you can't go out and just shop and buy and feel better. It's about you really looking and building and creating something from within that you're going to be bringing out. And we are getting to that exact same point by the end or middle of this April. So June 5th, 2012, we had this rare eclipse. And this rare total eclipse of Venus and the Sun and Earth, Venus passed between, and this was in the sign of Gemini. In fact, it only happens in the signs of Sagittarius and Gemini, just because of the orbit and the way things work. But this, with Venus's orbit, every 1250 years, it completes this whole mandala. And this 5-pointed star that it creates every 8-year period creates like an Etch-a-Sketch. If you ever did that really cool thing, I had it. You made all these really beautiful designs with all these circles and your pens. In the very center was a heart of Venus's orbit. It's amazing. But Venus cycle itself is 584 days. When you divide that by 365, that's where you get this inner dynamic and mathematical. It's the golden ratio 1.6. It's used in architecture, so it's the harmony type of math involved here, creating this 5-point star. So inherent within the orbit of Venus is just this beautiful nature loving type of environment. So so in 2012, the Mayans, this is when we're coming to the end of this whole cycle, and the Mayans knew that this marked a very big year, particularly because Venus was going to be close. So the 12-12-12, it wasn't about the world coming to an end. It was about the world as we know it having to evolve and having to rise in this consciousness experience that you all heard people start to talk about. This heart-based living, gratitude, coming from a more feminine essence, this attraction, instead of pushing out in the masculine type of a way. And this Venus energy is hugely magnetic. It is being now measured by quantum physicists. Also, it is the energy, the human heart also vibrates at 528 megahertz. Nature vibrates at that same vibration. So the heart doesn't vibrate at that. It connects with nature. And that's why if you're anxious, you need to go out and walk in nature. You need to be around nature. You need to ground your feet to the ground so that you're getting back, because we are electrical beings, and with all of these things that we have going on around us, all of these great tools that we have to communicate with can disturb that electrical balance that we have, and with some people even more than others. But if you know about the company Heart Math shows you on a screen how your heart reacts to thoughts of gratitude, thoughts of love, thoughts of beauty, thoughts of wonderful events in your life. If you're agitated, your heart is agitated. But when you are calm and peaceful and loving, your heart then calms down. Heart Math is an amazing piece. I have the lowest level one, where the least expensive one, I'm saying, where you put it on your finger and you can show on your computer based on your heartbeat and the rhythm that it has. So there is just a great connection, and we're connecting to the planet Venus and what that really means. So this is all about, Venus cycles are about attracting what you want. Venus and Neptune is about our dream. It is about our wishes. Venus and Pluto, that's about our desires and what we're passionate about. And Venus and Uranus is about this new breaking free and being something new and opening new doors. And Venus and Saturn is more this reality check and this solid building of something that's going to last. And all of these cycles unfold once a year, because Venus, unless Venus is retrograde. So Venus in a woman, this is how you vibrate your love and how you go about loving. In a man, his Venus is more the type of woman and that you look for, and the type of values that this woman will have. So in relationships, Venus is extremely important because it is a personal planet. It is a planet of love, such as Venus, Mars, Moon. Those personal planets talk about your in relationships. Mars, your energy, your passion, and then Venus is your love nature. So Venus speaks to the Earth. It's our sister planet, and she has a message, and these messages are especially potent when Venus is retrograde conjuncting the Sun. Okay, so this big event that happened, this rare event, was June 5th. It was a rare total eclipse. It was in Gemini. It was all about communication. How are we going to be utilizing all of these wonderful tools that we have? in communicating, getting your message out. Maybe you're doing YouTube videos more, and then we have the iPhones changing, and all different ways to communicate that out, and also how you're speaking, and your thoughts are things. Your thoughts are everything, and what you say, you can judge a man by what he puts in his mouth and what comes out of his mouth, they say. So choose your words wisely, your thoughts. So this was all about Gemini. Now this unfolded beautifully by the time of November 2013. It was at wholeness. So this June 5th, 2012, coming together, this message unfolded around, it was either November 1st, I believe it was November 1st, because there was an eclipse November the 3rd, or vice versa. It was right around there. There was a total eclipse of 11 degrees of Scorpio, and this and Venus at that time was right at the galactic center. So this was an amazing time, that if you were doing something with getting your message out there, big things were coming to you at that point in 2013, and things were unfolding. So then so the next event happened to be in Capricorn. So Venus then goes into its shadow November the 20th, and it starts to and then it's going to go retrograde in December, on I think it was December 21st. So in the sign of Capricorn, the theme all of a sudden came all about structure, building something that has lasting foundations, family traditions, something that's real, that you can sink your teeth into. There is no superficial relationships during this time. You want something of substance, because Capricorn is about building for the long haul. Okay, so this was more serious stuff. So the sun and moon came together and made that Venus point again, January the 11th, 2014, and there was another seed that was planted. And in that, this time was a very big time. If you go back to November 13th, because November and around the time of 2013, because Saturn was in Scorpio and Pluto was in Capricorn. They were sharing each other's signs. So this is called mutual reception. They were working together. But Saturn in the sign of Scorpio wants us to clean up what is toxic in our life, the people that no longer will serve us going forward, relationships that have become toxic, and just looking at who have I attracted and who have I given my power away to. What deep emotions need to come up to be healed. We are not completely done that yet, because Mars is going back into Scorpio during the summer, and it's going to help us finally clear up all that. But that's how deep and rooted that is, and that's how amazing the universe is in how it's unfolding in the story to help us to move along. God's wishes coming out in the stars and in the energy of the universe, which if you believe in God and that, and I do, that He created all of this. This is unfolding. This is an amazing story, and it couldn't be done in any other way. Just like God created a beautiful body, a body that wants to heal itself, and all the food around us to do that. So there is beauty in nature. There is beauty in everything. And Venus is at the crux of all of that. So we have this Capricorn story now going on during 2013, 2014. So during this time, just going back here now, that it gets to fullness. This is on March 24th, 2014. So this is where we're like kind of really energized and excited about something that we want to bring forth. And so this is about things that we've attached to now that we're going to build on, and what that means, and these choices that we're making that are going to create substance in our life. But after this fullness time, when we are a bit naive and excited, we have to go through little tests. Little tests, they test your resolve. It tests your commitment to what you want to bring forward. So that goes on, and then Venus goes below the horizon, and we have to work on something, and then it comes out. Now, just to cut to the chase on all of that, last June 7th, 2015, that was the pinnacle point of all the work that was being done when Venus came together in the sign of Capricorn. So now, shortly after that, we've got Venus going into Leo. And we had Jupiter in the sign of Leo, and Venus and Jupiter were coming together. In fact, it would come together 3 times because Venus was going retrograde. So Venus makes another point in the sky on August 15th, 2015. And this point is now what we're blooming, okay? So we're in the middle of Leo. We're in the middle of this love that we have. Something, not just love, but where we can put our passion and what really describes who we are, this creative genius that is in all of us. Leo is about creative genius. It is just, it's not edited, it's not sorted, it is just raw talent and creativity that you want to bring forward, but you have to be able to put your heart into it. So that's the key. You need to be able to have a heart energy attached to what you're bringing forward, because that is going to sustain that which you are building on. So we had some celebration last June, and then this whole Venus thing came in Leo, and we planted our seed, and then just want to keep going here. We came to this exciting point at the same time, by the way, that Mars was triggering the eclipse from last September. October 27th, we have Venus now rising to the full excited point, and it's naive. This is a naive point. This is a point where it is just rocking in excitement. Well, as excited it could be in where was it during that time? Was it in Virgo? But it is ready to just show the world the new stuff that it wants to bring out. But since that time, we've had little challenges. Challenge what you want to bring forth. Challenge, are you strong in your conviction? April the 18th of this month, we've got Venus going what they call immersion. And if you get Adam's book, you'll see all this. It's going below the horizon, and we have to work on what we are developing. We need to bring it together. And on June 6th, when the Sun and Venus come together, we will be able to get a new spark, because it's going to give us like this new vision now. We're refining things below the surface. So it gives you this ignitement of energy and says, now, okay, what are you going to do with it? It recognizes that we need to it's a re-excitement after a time of working on yourself, your values. So it's not about going out and buying new stuff. It's almost like Venus retrograde again. It's about really looking within and refining that which you are bringing forward. And once it comes up above the horizon, and we're going to see it again in the evening sky this time. Venus is either seen in the morning sky or seen in the evening sky. And your own Venus is either a Venus star in the morning, or it's a Venus star in the evening. So your own Venus is either immature or mature in its expression of each sign. July 24th, 2016, we've got Venus reappearing. So from around July 31st all the way through January the 13th, we are going to be able to bring forward our gifts and share them with humanity. Whatever you are creating, get excited. And this is a month to start to get excited, because it's about Aries. And that's just, we are getting the spark that we need to get going. Okay, so then when the Moon and Venus come together, and it's going to happen at the beginning of every single month, we got this little chance to refine and get excited about what we're bringing forward. So just to complete this whole beautiful story about what Venus is doing, it is going to be coming to the results, the wholeness point, the results just where you can stand up and go, wow, look what I have created. That is January the 13th, 2017. And on that day, Venus is going to be in Pisces at 10 degrees. That's the exact degree that Venus and Neptune came together this afternoon to plant the seed. We are going to be getting some messages at that time. Now just jot down some more dates before I finish, because this is the full cycle of Venus and Neptune, your dream board, your wishes, how it's going to unfold. It is new today, March the 20th. We have the first quarter on June the 3rd. So this is right before June 6, when we actually have Venus and Sun coming together. So this is another big message at that time. We get infused right before we get this message. And then when Saturn goes direct on August the 13th, the next day we have Neptune full with Venus. So this is also, you can just see how there's going to be a message. Last quarter is October 25th, and during this time we're going to have some more eclipses in September that are going to start to unfold. So mark those days. Those are wishes. Get your dream board together. Do some journaling. In your meditation, start to pictorially see what you would like. What are you bringing forward? What represents your heart? What is your creative energy? Thank you for watching this video. Have an amazing day and start of new Venus year. This is Kimberly, KK, your astrologer. Thank you for your subscriptions and for sharing.